Hi guys, welcome to another video. So as you can see, I'm not wearing any makeup or anything. I might regret that later, I'm not really sure. It's just not really makeup moment right now. It's my cat fucking with my couch. Okay, so basically this video is going to be about the similarities between an LSD trip and a bipolar mania slash psychotic episode. So yeah, basically, I am totally like just now learning like how similar the drug effects are. I mean, I've always like suspected it, like I've from my limited drug use that I have done, I kind of like noticed some similarities in like the things that you feel and happen, the things that happen and stuff. But yeah, like the drugs that I haven't used, I've been like, whoa, like that's very similar. Like the really just a few drugs. LSD, which is in this video, and meth, which was really disturbing to me because like meth, not even once, and all this stuff. Um, but yeah, so I watched a documentary on meth. I know this is like off topic, but the meth high is very similar to a manic episode. And you have psychosis when you're on meth too. So, anyways, so back to the topic. I have this little textbook, and I have to do a presentation on LSD this coming Thursday. So yeah, I've been reading up on that. I actually haven't finished the chapter yet, but I believe I finished the part on LSD. And so yeah, this is Drug Society and Human Behavior, Carl L. Hart and Charles Kisser. Um, so yeah, 15th edition. Anyways, so basically I just like stumbled upon the reactions to the later stage of the tripping experience. I'll just read it, I guess. So, two frequent types of overall reactions in this stage have been characterized as expansive and constricted. Yeah, and basically that's a good trip and a bad trip. So expansive is the good trip, and constricted is the bad trip. And if you've been psychotic with bipolar disorder, you'll know that sometimes it's like amazing, and you have like all these spiritual insights, and you feel like grandiose and whatever. And then when you have like a bad psychotic trip, I guess is what I'm gonna call it now, when you have mania, it can be really bad, and you have paranoia and yeah, so same thing here. In the expansive reaction, a good trip, the individual can become excited and grandiose and feel that he or she is uncovering secrets of the universe or profundities previously locked within him or herself. Feelings of creativity are not uncommon. And then, yeah, so a quote from someone. If I only had the time, I could write the truly great American novel. Which sounds exactly like what a bipolar person would go through when they're manic and they're having like a good manic episode. So yeah, they feel grandiose and excited because yeah, hyper and like euphoric and excited and think that they're on top of the world and like they're the best person ever. They're uncovering secrets of the universe. Like I remember when I was at the first mental hospital, I was like, oh my God, I have to write this down. Like I've unlocked the secrets of the universe. And, I was like looking for a pen and stuff to write down stuff. But basically it was all weird bullshit that I couldn't even put into words. Which is apparently what happens when you're tripping on LSD also. But yeah, so before I go on to the constricted reaction, I just want to like go ahead and put in here that there's this whole like idea that bipolar disorder is caused by LSD because I guess because of the similarities in the symptoms or whatever, but that's totally like completely unfounded scientifically, and I've never done LSD before. So yeah. Anyways, the other end of the continuum is the constricted reaction, in which the user shows little movement and frequently becomes paranoid and exhibits feelings of persecution. The prototype individual in this situation is huddled in a corner, fearful that some harm will come to him or her, or that the person is being threatened by some aspect of the hallucinations. Okay, so yeah, that basically happens to you when you are psychotic. Also, I can remember the second hospitalization. I can vividly remember like being in my bed, just like looking out of the door because the door was open. I don't know why. Maybe they were like keeping an eye on me because the rest of the time I was there, the door was closed. So I don't know what that was about. But so, and this guy, he was like the religious dude that was there or whatever, like passing out Bibles and shit. But he was like staring at me, and I was just like my eyes were like wide, and that probably happens like, if you look at a person on LSD who's having a bad trip, I can imagine maybe they look like that, like just scared out of their fucking mind in their head, because they're having all of these fearful hallucinations. Like um, my hallucinations were of like people coming after me and wanting to harvest my organs, and not even that, just like hearing, like sometimes it wasn't even about me. I mean, it was always kind of about me, but I would hear like radio noises, talking about all these like really bad things going on in the world. And I remember looking at the TV that had the news on it, and while I was watching it, I was like hallucinating things that the anchor was saying and talking about. It was completely different than what they were actually talking about. Like I know there's shitty stuff that comes on the news all the time, but this stuff was like so out there, like aliens and mafia stealing people's organs and shit like that. So yeah, so experiencing feelings of persecution, I thought that I was in a concentration camp when I was in the hospital, and that they were gonna kill me and like gas me, and what else? Yeah, I thought that they thought I had done something wrong and they were trying to hurt me in some way. Um, yeah, it's hard for me to remember like exactly what I thought that they thought about me, but I can remember feeling very threatened by people. Um, and it made me very resistant to like what they wanted me to do, because I was like, no, like I can't be put into the concentration camp, let me out of here, or that's just an example. There were tons of other like delusions that I had and hallucinations and stuff. So that is basically all I wanted to say about that. It was just like the one paragraph in this book that really struck me. There's also stuff about loss of self-awareness, loss of control of behavior, depersonalization, feeling that you're not in your body, which reminds me of like the dreamlike aspects of having a psychotic episode. You feel like you're in a dream, so you totally lose your self-awareness and your control, and feel depersonalized, and yeah, and you have like, yeah, you're just gone basically. So it sounds very similar. This little excerpt or whatever, this little paragraph sounds just like a bipolar psychotic episode, and that's why I have the idea that like just psychosis is psychosis, all across the board. It's the same thing going on in your brain, if you're having psychosis from LSD, psychosis from meth. There's just like this one like psychosis that is characterized by this stuff, but also like the whole manic stuff of like having grandiosity and creativity. Yeah, so when I heard about the meth trip, it was also like grandiosity and all this stuff, but I don't think there was creativity. I think it was mostly the bad trip stuff about feeling persecuted. But there's just a lot of like intermixing between that stuff, and with schizophrenia too, the same sort of thing going on with schizophrenic psychosis. And I'm sure there are like subtle differences. Like I know with LSD, like you see sounds and what else? You just have really weird perceptions, and your mouth is dry, uh, and yeah, you have abnormal body sensations, decrease in sensory impression, abnormal color perception, space and time disorders, and yeah, visual hallucinations. So the first guy, it's the guy who invented LSD. This was basically his description of the LSD trip, which sounds different than what they just described. So yeah, what he says was, I had great difficulty in speaking coherently. My field of vision swayed before me, and objects appeared distorted like images in curved mirrors. So that really doesn't happen when you have a psychotic episode with mania. Things don't appear like crazy mirrors or something. I had the impression of being unable to move from the spot, although my assistant told me afterwards that we had cycled at a good pace. It sounds maybe like the depersonalization stuff, but I don't know. That's probably subtly different. And he says, all acoustic perceptions, for example, the noise of a passing car, were transformed into optical effects, every sound causing a corresponding color hallucination, constantly changing in shape and color like pictures on a kaleidoscope. That's completely different. You're not going to have that when you have bipolar psychosis. There's not like psychedelic, like kaleidoscope shit, like that kind of. Yeah. But so there are differences and similarities. I just wanted to go over that because I was very surprised. And yeah. Oh yeah. So the guy who invented or first synthesized LSD, Dr. Albert Hofmann, and that was in 1938. Okay, so that's pretty much all of that. I thought it was somewhat interesting. It was really interesting to me, so I thought I would share. Oh yeah, so an important announcement. There's a new forum because the other one was just fucked up and people were complaining about it. So I was just like, screw it. I'm sick of that forum. So I'm like so sick of that forum. So I just started a completely new forum. Right now, the URL is thementalforum.net. So if you want to go ahead and sign up for that one, that would be great. But if you are a member of the old forum, it's still under mentalforum.net. And if you want to copy and paste your story that you spent like so much time writing, I'm sure, over to the new forum, totally do that. I'm sure everyone would appreciate that, still being able to read your story and stuff. But eventually the URL is going to forward to the other URL, I think on September 20th. So after September 20th, it's just the one forum, and you're not going to be able to access the old forum anymore. And it'll be back to mentalforum.net. But right now it's thementalforum.net. So if you have any posts or conversations, just go ahead and move them over to that forum. I know I keep doing this to you guys, but hopefully this forum, there won't be any spam, and I kind of like the format of this forum more. It's a little more like professional looking or something. Yeah, and I have other links in the description to all my social networks. And if you want to try and get in contact with me, I'm so busy with school right now, so I'm like squeezing this video in, and I am just like sporadically answering messages. Oh yeah, and I also have a blog, which is rawsammy.blogspot.com. It's just like a really silly, simple blog, where I just basically talk about my personal life because I don't really give a shit. And yeah, I have an Instagram. It's just a really lame Instagram, but anyways, I'll probably make a life update soon because there's a lot of shit going on, but I just really wanted to go ahead and squeeze this video in. But yeah, I have a Tumblr and Facebook and Twitter. Like, people are always asking me, do you have a Facebook? And I'm just like, it's in the description, just look there. So yeah, I hope you guys have a really good day. Bye. I really hope the microphone is working.